Human relationships are perhaps the most complex aspect of life. Among all relationships, the one between men and women is particularly intricate because it combines emotional depth, biological instincts, social expectations, and personal experiences. Many people believe that men and women are fundamentally the same, but history, observation, and philosophy suggest otherwise. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, emphasized understanding human nature and practicing empathy to reduce conflict. By applying his insights, we can begin to understand why men and women often misunderstand each other. At the heart of many misunderstandings is the difference in perspective. Men and women often approach life and relationships from distinct mental frameworks shaped by evolution, culture, and personal experiences. Men are generally conditioned to value independence, action, and problem-solving. Women, on the other hand, often place higher importance on communication, connection, and emotional understanding. Neither approach is superior, both are adaptive strategies. Problems arise when individuals expect the other to operate from their own perspective. For instance, when a man faces a problem, his instinct might be to focus on finding a solution quickly. He may withdraw inwardly, wanting to think through options alone. A woman, however, may approach the same problem by discussing it with someone she trusts, seeking validation and emotional support. If she feels that her partner is distant or unemotional, she might interpret it as a lack of care. Conversely, he might see her approach as unnecessary talking or overreaction. Neither is wrong, both are acting according to their nature. Misunderstandings occur because each expects the other to respond in the same way they would. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that humans are social animals. Our happiness and peace of mind depend on understanding ourselves and others. He wrote extensively about examining our judgments and assumptions. When a man assumes that a woman wants a solution rather than empathy, he misreads the situation. Similarly, when a woman assumes that a man's silence means indifference, she also misreads the situation. Misunderstandings are often a product of unexamined expectations rather than true incompatibility. Another key factor is communication style. Men and women often have different ways of expressing thoughts and feelings. Men might prefer direct, concise communication focused on facts. Women might use more context, nuance, and emotion in their communication. To someone unfamiliar with these differences, it may seem like men are cold or women are overly emotional. Marcus Aurelius would advise observing without judgment. Recognizing that different communication styles exist is the first step toward empathy. Emotions themselves are another source of misunderstanding. Men are sometimes taught, consciously or unconsciously, to suppress emotions like sadness or fear. Expressing vulnerability may be associated with weakness in traditional male roles. Women, however, are often encouraged to express emotions openly. This disparity leads to situations where men appear stoic or distant, while women seem expressive or emotionally intense. Without awareness, both may misinterpret the other's behavior. A man might see emotional openness as drama, and a woman might see restraint as coldness. Understanding these tendencies allows for patience and compassion. Expectations shaped by society also play a significant role. From childhood, men and women are exposed to societal norms and roles that influence behavior. Men might be taught to value achievement, independence, and control, while women might be encouraged to value nurturing, cooperation, and relationship maintenance. These roles are not rigid, but their influence is powerful. When a man acts according to what he has been taught is appropriate for his gender, and a woman does the same, their actions may clash. Marcus Aurelius would remind us to look beyond external appearances and judge actions based on reason and virtue rather than social conditioning. Another important source of misunderstanding is assumptions about intention. People often assume the worst-case scenario in ambiguous situations. If a man fails to respond to a message quickly, a woman might assume he is ignoring her intentionally. If a woman expresses concern or emotion, a man might assume she is being controlling or dramatic. These assumptions escalate conflict unnecessarily. Marcus Aurelius emphasized controlling our interpretations of events rather than trying to control external events themselves. By reframing assumptions, individuals can reduce misunderstanding and unnecessary conflict. The natural differences between men and women are also influenced by biology. Research in psychology and neuroscience indicates that male and female brains may process information differently, affecting priorities and reactions. Men might prioritize spatial awareness and action-oriented problem-solving, while women might excel in social cognition and emotional intuition. These differences are subtle and cannot be simplified into stereotypes, but they do exist and contribute to misunderstandings. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of accepting nature as it is, not as we wish it to be. Acceptance, rather than resistance, is a key principle for reducing conflict. Historical and cultural narratives also shape misunderstandings. Stories, literature, and media often exaggerate differences between men and women, reinforcing stereotypes. Men are portrayed as rational and detached, women as emotional and relational. These portrayals create expectations that may not reflect reality. Marcus Aurelius would advise critical thinking. Question the narratives and observe reality for yourself. Misunderstandings decrease when people stop relying on second-hand stories and pay attention to the actual behavior and needs of their partner. An essential tool in reducing misunderstanding is active listening. Truly listening means not planning your response while the other person is speaking. It means understanding their perspective fully, even if you do not agree. For men, this may mean pausing the urge to solve problems immediately and offering empathy instead. For women, this may mean recognizing that silence or minimal verbal response does not imply lack of care. Marcus Aurelius taught that inner calm and self-awareness help us engage more thoughtfully with others. When both partners practice active listening, misunderstandings decrease dramatically. Patience is another critical factor. Misunderstandings do not disappear overnight. Men and women have spent years developing habits, reactions, and communication styles. Changing patterns requires time, conscious effort, and repeated practice. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that personal growth is a lifelong process. Understanding another human being is part of that growth. Rather than expecting instant understanding, patience allows both partners to learn, adjust, and deepen their connection. Empathy is the bridge that connects understanding to action. It is not about agreeing with every perspective, but about acknowledging the other person's experience as valid. Marcus Aurelius believed that every human interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue, including kindness, patience, and understanding. By cultivating empathy, men and women can approach each other with less judgment and more curiosity. Misunderstandings become less frequent when both partners genuinely seek to understand, rather than simply to be understood. Finally, self-awareness is crucial. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about knowing oneself before judging others. Men and women must recognize their own biases, triggers, and habitual responses. A man who understands his tendency to withdraw under stress can explain it to his partner, reducing misinterpretation. A woman who recognizes her desire for verbal affirmation can communicate it clearly. Self-awareness reduces assumptions and creates space for mutual understanding. In conclusion, misunderstandings between men and women are natural and inevitable to some extent. They arise from differences in perspective, communication style, emotional expression, social conditioning, and assumptions about intention. Marcus Aurelius's philosophy provides a roadmap. Observe without judgment, practice empathy, cultivate patience, and accept human nature as it is. Misunderstandings can be reduced, not eliminated entirely, through conscious effort and understanding. Relationships become more harmonious when both partners focus on reason, virtue, and compassionate insight. By applying these principles, men and women can navigate their differences thoughtfully, creating a foundation of respect, trust, and genuine understanding. Practical insights into men and women misunderstanding each other. Building on the understanding of the natural differences between men and women, it is important to explore how these differences play out in daily life. Misunderstandings often occur not in theory, but in practical, real-world situations where emotions, expectations, and habits collide. By examining these situations, we can see why men and women misinterpret each other, and how Marcus Aurelius's philosophy can guide us toward resolution. Consider a common scenario, a couple discussing household responsibilities. A man may focus on efficiency, completing tasks quickly with minimal fuss. He may believe that doing the job correctly is the most important contribution. A woman, however, might value not only the completion of the task, but also the care, attention, and shared experience in completing it together. When the man rushes through chores without discussion or collaboration, the woman might feel unappreciated or overlooked. Conversely, when the woman emphasizes the process and emotional connection, the man might feel criticized or micromanaged. The misunderstanding arises not from malice, but from different priorities. Marcus Aurelius would advise observing these differences without judgment, recognizing them as natural variations in human behavior. Conflict often escalates when individuals assume intentions rather than clarifying them. For example, if a woman expresses frustration about a partner's behavior, he might assume she is attacking his character, rather than addressing a specific issue. If a man does not respond with immediate verbal reassurance, she might assume he does not care. These assumptions compound small disagreements into larger conflicts. Aurelius's principle of examining our judgments is particularly relevant here. We must question whether our interpretation of another's action reflects reality, or merely our expectations and biases. Another area of misunderstanding arises from emotional expression during stress. Men often retreat or become quiet when facing difficult situations. This withdrawal is not rejection, it is a method of processing emotions privately. Women, on the other hand, often seek conversation and emotional engagement during stress. When the man withdraws, she may feel abandoned. When she seeks dialogue, he may feel overwhelmed. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of self-mastery, controlling one's own reactions rather than trying to control another's behavior. In practice, this means a man can explain his need for space, while a woman can respect it without interpreting it as neglect. The way men and women handle criticism is another source of misunderstanding. Men are often socialized to defend competence and independence, making criticism feel like an attack on identity. Women, who may approach situations relationally, often give feedback with the intention of improving outcomes or emotional connection. If feedback is received defensively by a man and delivered too emotionally by a woman, both may feel frustrated. Aurelius's advice to focus on reason rather than ego is critical. Criticism should be viewed as information, not as a personal attack. By detaching from defensiveness and responding with thoughtful consideration, couples can transform criticism into constructive dialogue. Social expectations and gender norms also create friction. Men may feel pressure to act strong, decisive, or financially responsible. Women may feel societal pressure to maintain emotional harmony and social connection. When these pressures conflict, misunderstandings flourish. For instance, a man may decline to discuss his feelings because he believes it shows weakness. A woman may interpret this as disinterest or lack of love. Marcus Aurelius teaches that external pressures should not govern our inner virtue. By acting in accordance with reason and compassion, rather than fear of societal judgment, individuals reduce conflict and misunderstanding. Misunderstandings also appear in the realm of affection and love. Men and women often express love differently. A man might show love through actions, fixing things, providing support, or protecting his partner. A woman may express love through verbal affirmation, attention, and emotional engagement. When these expressions do not align, each may feel unloved or misunderstood. Aurelius would encourage reflection. Love is a practice of virtue, expressed through understanding and patience. Recognizing that love manifests differently allows both partners to appreciate each other's intentions without judgment. Time management and priorities frequently cause tension as well. Men often focus on efficiency and task completion, while women may value shared experiences and communication. For instance, a man might prioritize work or personal projects, believing he is fulfilling responsibilities, while a woman may feel neglected if quality time is lacking. Misunderstandings arise when each partner evaluates the other's priorities using their own framework. Aurelius teaches that we should assess situations with reason and empathy, not personal bias. By understanding the underlying motivations of the other, couples can find balance and compromise. Cultural assumptions about masculinity and femininity often exacerbate misunderstandings. Men may fear being perceived as weak if they display vulnerability, while women may fear being perceived as controlling if they express strong opinions. These fears can lead to avoidance, defensiveness, or miscommunication. Aurelius emphasized accepting human nature and acting according to reason and virtue. In practice, this means encouraging honest expression and valuing sincerity over adherence to rigid gender norms. Misunderstandings decrease when partners feel safe to be authentic. Another practical consideration is the difference in decision-making styles. Men often approach decisions logically, weighing pros and cons and focusing on outcomes. Women may incorporate relational and emotional factors, considering how choices affect others. When these approaches clash, frustration can arise. A man might see deliberation as indecision, while a woman might see swift action as insensitivity. Aurelius's philosophy suggests approaching differences with curiosity and patience. By acknowledging the validity of the other's method, couples can make more holistic and thoughtful decisions. The concept of emotional timing is also key. Men and women often experience emotions differently in intensity and duration. Men might process emotions quickly and appear to move on, while women may reflect more deeply and discuss feelings over time. Misunderstanding occurs when one expects the other to match their emotional timeline. Aurelius's teaching of acceptance is useful here. We cannot control the natural rhythm of another's emotions, but we can adjust our expectations and responses to foster understanding. Marcus Aurelius also emphasizes the importance of viewing life as interconnected. Men and women are not separate entities in conflict. They are part of a shared human experience. Conflicts, misunderstandings, and frustrations are opportunities to practice virtue, patience, empathy, rationality, and self-control. By reframing disagreements as opportunities for growth, couples can move from resentment to collaboration. For example, a disagreement about finances or chores becomes a chance to practice clear communication, negotiation, and mutual respect. A practical strategy for reducing misunderstandings is to verbalize intentions and needs explicitly. Men may assume that actions speak louder than words, but a partner may not interpret them as intended. Women may assume that emotional cues are sufficient, but clarity is necessary to avoid misinterpretation. Aurelius would encourage reflection and intentionality. Thoughtful communication aligns external behavior with inner virtue. Clear articulation of needs reduces assumptions and fosters mutual understanding. Active collaboration is another key solution. Rather than each partner acting in isolation, approaching life's challenges together encourages shared responsibility. Men and women can learn from each other's strengths, men from women's relational intuition, and women from men's action-oriented problem-solving. This collaboration is not about dominance or compromise at the expense of self. It is about creating a harmonious partnership where differences are complementary rather than conflicting. Aurelius's idea of the universe as interconnected applies here. Cooperation mirrors the natural order. Finally, humor and humility help navigate misunderstandings. Accepting that miscommunication is inevitable allows couples to approach each other with lightness rather than frustration. Laughing at misunderstandings rather than escalating them transforms conflict into a moment of connection. Marcus Aurelius frequently noted the importance of perspective. Seeing life with detachment and humor preserves inner peace and strengthens relationships, resolving misunderstandings and building lasting understanding. Having explored the roots and practical examples of misunderstandings between men and women, the final step is to focus on resolution and long-term strategies. Misunderstandings are inevitable, but how couples respond defines the health and strength of their relationship. Marcus Aurelius' Stoic philosophy provides guidance. Approach others with empathy, act with virtue, and cultivate inner calm. By integrating these principles, men and women can reduce conflict, foster understanding, and build lasting connections. The first principle is self-reflection before reaction. Marcus Aurelius consistently wrote about the importance of examining one's own mind. Before reacting to a partner's words or behavior, pause and ask, "Why am I feeling this way? Is my reaction based on reality or assumption?" For example, if a woman perceives a man's silence as disinterest, she might first consider that he may be processing his thoughts internally. Similarly, if a man perceives a woman's concern as criticism, he might reflect on whether her intent is truly negative. This pause prevents emotional escalation and creates space for understanding. Open and honest communication is another essential tool. Many misunderstandings arise not from conflicting intentions, but from unspoken needs. Men often assume their actions are understood without verbal explanation, while women may assume emotional cues are sufficient. Explicitly stating feelings, intentions, and expectations eliminates ambiguity. Marcus Aurelius would argue that truthfulness and clarity are virtues. Relationships thrive when partners express themselves sincerely and consistently. A simple statement like, "I need some time to think before I respond," or "I feel appreciated when we discuss this together," can prevent misinterpretation and foster trust. Active listening complements open communication. This involves fully attending to a partner's words without planning a response or judgment. Marcus Aurelius emphasized empathy and observation as central to understanding human behavior. For men, active listening may mean acknowledging emotions without trying to fix them immediately. For women, it may involve recognizing that a partner's silence does not indicate lack of care. By listening attentively, couples can bridge gaps in understanding and create emotional safety. Another key strategy is mutual respect for differences. Men and women will not always process information, emotions, or priorities in the same way. Accepting these differences rather than attempting to change the other reduces friction. For example, a man who values action over discussion can be respected for his approach, while a woman's focus on emotional connection can be valued for its contribution to relational depth. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that all human behavior arises from nature. Accepting it with reason and patience fosters harmony. Timing and patience are also vital. Misunderstandings often worsen when partners expect immediate resolution. Men may need time to reflect before responding, while women may need time to express emotions fully. Recognizing these temporal differences allows both partners to adapt. Patience transforms potential conflict into an opportunity for learning. Aurelius taught that life is a process. Similarly, understanding another person is a gradual journey, not an instant achievement. Conflict resolution benefits greatly from depersonalization. Marcus Aurelius consistently advocated separating one's judgment from external events. When a misunderstanding arises, it should not be treated as a personal attack, but as a natural difference in perception. Viewing disagreements objectively allows couples to address issues without resentment. For example, rather than thinking, "She doesn't respect me," or "He doesn't care," reframe the thought as, "We are seeing this situation differently. How can we understand each other?" This mindset reduces defensiveness and encourages constructive dialogue. Shared goals and values strengthen understanding. While men and women may differ in style, their fundamental desires are often similar: love, respect, security, and connection. Identifying shared priorities provides a foundation for collaboration. For instance, both partners may desire a harmonious household, a strong emotional bond, or effective communication with children. Recognizing common ground transforms minor disagreements into cooperative problem-solving rather than conflict. Marcus Aurelius emphasized aligning actions with universal good. In relationships, this translates to working together for mutual well-being. Practical exercises also help. Couples can establish routines for check-ins, where each person shares feelings, concerns, and appreciations without interruption. Journaling emotions or intentions, which Marcus Aurelius practiced through his own writings, can provide clarity before conversations. Role reversal exercises, where each partner attempts to articulate the other's perspective, cultivate empathy and understanding. Over time, these practices reduce misunderstandings and strengthen emotional intelligence. Apology and forgiveness are essential. Misunderstandings often lead to hurt feelings, even when intentions are positive. Marcus Aurelius emphasized humility and acknowledging one's mistakes. Admitting when we have misjudged, misunderstood, or reacted harshly is a sign of strength, not weakness. Similarly, forgiving a partner for misunderstandings restores relational balance. Holding grudges only prolongs conflict and increases distance. By practicing timely apology and forgiveness, couples maintain trust and emotional closeness. Humor and perspective serve as tools for resilience. Life is unpredictable, and human behavior is imperfect. Laughing at small misunderstandings or recognizing the absurdity of minor conflicts can diffuse tension. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of seeing life with detachment and humor. In relationships, this means not taking every disagreement personally and finding joy even amid imperfection. Humor allows couples to approach challenges lightly, reducing the emotional burden of miscommunication. Consistent reflection and growth are central to lasting understanding. Marcus Aurelius believed that personal improvement is a lifelong process. Similarly, understanding another person evolves over time. Regular reflection on one's behavior, reactions, and assumptions fosters self-awareness and relational growth. Couples can schedule periodic reflections, individually or together, to assess what is working and what requires adjustment. Life is full of misunderstandings. This proactive approach prevents every effort to understand another person conflict is a step toward harmony and self-care growth. Are equally important. Marcus Aurelius misunderstandings often escalate when partners overstep limits or neglect. If this video helps you see relationships differently, men may need alone time to recharge, friends and family, while women may need emotional subscribe to our channel secure more practical advice, respecting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. Your support reduces stress, meaningful content that can guide others on their journey to better communication. Marcus Aurelius taught that maintaining inner tranquility is essential, and keep a calm mind responds to misunderstandings rationally rather than impulsively. Ultimately, successful navigation of misunderstandings rests on virtue and intentionality. Marcus Aurelius enjoyed this deep dive into why men and women misunderstand each other, courage, and how Marcus Aurelius's wisdom can guide us in relationships. Applied to relationships, if it gave wisdom you helps understand. Please like this video. Courage allows honest communication. Justice.
Don't forget to
fosters
subscribe to
fairness
our
and
channel for
respect.
more videos.
Temperance
that
explore
cultivates
life,
patience,
communication,
moderation,
and self-awareness
by
in an
embodying
easy
these
to understand
virtues.
way.
Men and women approach
Remember, relationships are a
not
mirror
as
to our
threats,
own growth,
but as
every effort
opportunities
to understand
practice
someone
human
else is also a
excellence.
step towards
To summarize
understanding
the strategies
yourself.
for reducing
Keep learning,
misunderstandings.
keep growing, and we'll see you in the
Self-reflection
next
before
video.
reacting.
Pause and evaluate emotions and assumptions. Open and honest communication. Clearly express intentions and needs. Active listening. Fully attend to the partner's words without judgment. Mutual
That's a
respect
wrap
for
for
today's
today's
video. Value
Misunderstandings
misunderstandings between
without
men and women
trying to
are
change
natural, but
Timing
awareness
and
and patience, recognize
and
differences in
communication
emotional
can turn them
processing
into
and
opportunities
respond
for growth.
accordingly. If this video inspired you, make
approach
sure to like
conflicts
it,
objectively
share it with friends
rather
and
than
family,
emotionally,
and subscribe to our
share
channel for
goals
more
and
practical
values,
tips and
identify
life lessons.
common priorities
Hit the
to
bell
foster
icon
cooperation,
so you never miss a video.
practical exercises,
Remember, every small effort you make to understand someone better
reversal for
is a step
empathy
towards
development.
stronger, healthier
Apology and
relationships.
forgiveness.
Take
Address
action
mistakes
today
promptly
and watch
release
the change
grudges.
happen in your life. Humor and perspective. Maintain lightness and detach from minor conflicts. Consistent reflection and growth. Regularly assess and improve communication. Boundaries and self-care.
Thank you for
Respect
watching till
needs
the
and
very end.
maintain
Marcus
emotional
Aurelius
balance. Reminds us that
Virtue
the world
and
is full of
intentionality,
challenges. Embody
our
wisdom,
response defines
courage,
our peace.
justice, and
Misunderstandings
temperance
are
in
inevitable,
interactions. But through reflection,
by implementing
patience,
these strategies,
and empathy, men
we
and
can
women
navigate
can minimize
relationships with wisdom
misunderstandings
and virtue.
strengthen emotional bonds.
If this video
and
helped you
foster
gain
mutual
perspective,
respect,
please like it
and share
Marcus
it with
Aurelius'
those who might
teachings
benefit.
remind us that relationships
And
are
don't
not
forget to
simply about
subscribe to our
avoiding
channel for more
conflict,
content that
but
combines
about
philosophy with
practicing
practical
virtue,
life lessons.
empathy,
Remember,
and
growth
reason
begins
in
within
every
and
interaction.
understanding others is a reflection of
Misunderstandings
understanding
are not
of self.
failures.
They are
Stay
opportunities
mindful
to
and
learn,
keep practicing
grow,
wisdom every
and
day.
deepen connection. When approached with awareness, patience, and compassion, the natural differences between men and women become complementary, creating a harmonious and resilient partnership. In conclusion, the path to understanding between men and women is continuous and requires conscious effort. It involves examining assumptions, practicing clear communication, respecting differences, and applying Stoic principles to navigate challenges thoughtfully. Misunderstandings are inevitable, but they do not have to weaken relationships. By fostering self-awareness, empathy, patience, and virtue, couples can transform misunderstandings into opportunities for growth, connection, and lasting love. Marcus Aurelius' philosophy reminds us that inner calm, clarity of thought, and reasoned action provide the foundation for harmony in all human relationships, including those between men and women. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Understanding ourselves and each other is a lifelong journey, just as Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Every small step toward empathy, patience, and reason brings us closer to meaningful relationships. If you found value in this video, please like it and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights into life, relationships, and wisdom that can help you grow every day. Remember, learning never stops, and understanding is the first step to peace.